I've just sailed across the English Channel for the first time with my family, from Poole to Cherbourg. It was a lot different than I expected, so with this in mind, I have created my top tips based on mistakes we've made and the misconceptions we had, so that you have an easier time of it. These are my own thoughts and observations. No one is perfect, especially sailors. Number 1, checking out of the UK. The sailing forums had me worried, bamboozled, kerfuddled and very confused, but the reality was so easy. As at the time of making this video, this is how you check out of the UK. It's all online. The government has a new online platform for pleasure crafts to register their exit and entry to the UK. I've put a link in the description. You simply create an account, log on, and then create a voyage plan. The first time you do this, you need to enter your pleasure craft's name and registration if you have one, your skipper's details, the passport details of your crew, including yourself. These can then be saved and used in the future to make it even quicker. When you are ready to leave the UK, you create a voyage plan by entering your intended date and time and the port that you're leaving from, together with the dates and times of the port you intend to travel to. Add your pre-saved crew and boat details and press submit. You need to submit this between 24 and 2 hours before you depart. And if things change, well, you can just sign back in and update the plan. This makes the whole process take less than 5 minutes if you type fast and less than 10 if you type slow and make a cup of tea in the middle. We received acknowledgement within the hour. I'll tell you how we checked into France later on in this video. Number 2. Anyone can get seasick anytime, any voyage, and this was my time. A combination of being super tired due to my brain wanting to switch off with adventure excitement, plus deciding it was a good idea to leave before first light so that we could watch the sunrise. The sunrise was beautiful, but I'm not sure whether it was worth the intense nausea that accompanied me for most of the trip. What I did learn, however, was that having a centre cockpit was a winner. I wedged myself in, closed my eyes and imagined I was floating on a lilo on a tropical island, and it served me very well until things calmed down. Ginger biscuits also helped. Number 3. Prepare all food in advance. On every other sailing trip prior to this one, I have been down below at every mealtime whipping up a feast for the crew. But this passage was so bumpy that we couldn't even walk down the stairs properly or open the fridge without everything falling all over the place. Even making a quick sandwich was out of the question. We therefore had to live the entire day on what we could grab quickly from the cupboards. A diet of crisps and biscuits and dried mango ensued. The kids didn't mind, but for me, not having anything of substance didn't really help with the nausea. Next time, I will have an easy-to-grab cool bag fully stocked with nutritious and satiating supplies ready to be divvied out directly from my place lying on the cockpit floor. Number 4. No matter how much you think you have stowed everything away, chances are something will fly off. I thought all of our cereal boxes were nicely wedged under the gunnels until there was pasta and cornflakes strewn across the floor like some kind of messy art installation. Cue a frantic panic and restashing them under the piano, which was itself very secure. After we had dealt with that, the kitchen drawers flew open as we hadn't resecured the catches properly from our installation error in episode 36. Kelvin to the rescue, wedging himself against them to keep them shut until Hugh was able to come below and screw the catches back on. Not ideal, but now you can learn from our mistakes. Number 5. Download some movies or Audible books. We have relied far too heavily lately on streaming, but you can't do that mid-channel. And with it being too bumpy for the kids to draw or play games as they normally would on Passage, a movie would have been a good distraction. I tried to read them a book and instantly regretted it as it reignited my nausea. Having said that, we did play numerous rounds of 20 questions, What Am I, and I Spy with My Little Eye, something beginning with S. Number 6. Sun cream up. It is easy to be fooled into thinking that you won't get burnt, with the wind keeping you cool as you sit there enjoying the view, but this is a trick. The sun is trying to fool you. It even bounces off the water to get you. Protect yourself and apply sun cream regularly. I am very good at keeping myself protected, but even I get caught out sometimes. Not on this trip, but I recently got burnt whilst anchoring in episode 46. Number 7. Take someone with you who has crossed the channel before. Hugh, our captain, and my husband has crossed 3 times, so we were in good hands. I am a mere day skipper with a Yachtmaster theory, and up until this trip I had only passage planned around the fictitious Port Fraser. I set about making a real passage plan. Hugh had already done one, so there was no pressure for me to get it right first time. But I wanted to do it on my own to see if I could still remember how, and also to see if all that line drawing and calculating actually works. It took me way longer than it should, but I got there. We followed my plotted course to steer, and then plotted the actual position every hour of the sail. I was amazed to find that the maths actually works, and with a few expected adjustments, we ended up in the right place. The other reason for having someone experienced with you are the shipping lanes, which can be hazardous to anybody inexperienced. The tip here being to use a handheld compass to take a bearing off any big ships, then keep taking that bearing every few minutes. If it stays the same, then you are on a collision course. Valuable information, right? It was really bizarre seeing these huge ships changing course. However, we weren't taking any chances, and nor should you. Number 8. When you arrive at the pontoon and step off to tie up, make sure you have the line with you. That's the rope to non-sailors. This wasn't my mistake, I'll have you know. I stepped off with the centre line in hand, securing the boat to the cleat on the pontoon. Then I watched as Kelvin leapt past me with purpose. Then I saw a wave of realisation rushing across his face, looking at his empty hand, and then across at the line sitting on the boat. Oh, we did laugh. Eventually, when the boat was secured. Number 9. You don't need to radio ahead for a berth at Cherbourg like you do in the UK. Or, so I'm told, anywhere in France. You just turn up, find a space, then tell the marina office where you have berthed. Number 10. Checking into France. We were pretty worried about this. Again, the sailing forums did not paint a very pretty picture, and it made it seem like it was going to be very difficult. However, a little research using the Cruising Association website, and we had a list of designated ports of entry. We chose Cherbourg specifically as this was on the list. I am happy to report that things could not have been easier. We made our initial application online, link in the description. We were also advised to print off a copy to take to the police when we arrived. The police come to the marina at Cherbourg every day at 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. You queue up, you give them your form, tell them that you've emailed a copy, you present your passport, they stamp it, and then that's it, you're in. You can also go to the police station, which is a short walk away, and it's open 24 hours a day. I think you check out the same way, although we won't be reporting on this for a few weeks as we haven't any need to do it yet. Number 11. If you turn up to France on a Sunday, be prepared that almost everything is shut, and the decent-looking marina restaurant most likely fully booked. We were hungry, and we wanted a decent meal after a day of eating crisps and biscuits, and so we trudged around the town, only to make the mistake of going into one of the only places open, a French taco place. I can now report that French tacos are nothing like tacos. They are more like a warm wrap folded up with chips and a creamy, gloopy cheese inside. A big disappointment. Luckily, there was a patisserie open next door, and even though it provided little nutrition, it did provide sugary, creamy, chocolatey comfort. Number 12. Don't teach your kids crappy 80s pop songs at the beginning of the trip, as when you're tired and a little stretched, it will come back to haunt you. There you have it, my top tips for crossing the channel. If you've liked this video, please subscribe so that you're notified as soon as our next video is released. Goodbye for now.